Hello, Studio 903. Okay, this is your demonstration walkthrough for the project this week, Campus Safety Signs. So I'm going to start by making a new design in Gravit Designer. I'm going to make an 11 by 17 inch document, and I'm going to click Create. There is my canvas. Now I need to make two signs, so what I need to do is duplicate this page. I can click this create new page icon, and I can create a second page that's the same size. But if I happen to want my orientation of my second sign to be horizontal instead of vertical, I could go right over here to my page size, width and height, and I can change that right here. I can change this to 17 and this to 11. And suddenly I have, let's fit all, I have a vertical and a horizontal orientation for my signage. Okay, so that is how I'm going to set up my file. The next thing I need to do is save this baby. So I'm going to go to File, Save, and we're going to call this P, the period that you're in, P number, so period 1, P2, P4. I'm going to say P number so that it's a sample for everybody. We'll call this sample, but you would put your name underscore safety signs and click Save. I already have one started, so I'm going to replace that in there. And here it is. There is my file, and I'm just going to start from there. Do not forget, after you start making changes to it, save by clicking the Save Your Document, okay? Sometimes it automatically saves, but you can't trust that it's going to do that. So make sure that you regularly save your document. I heard again from a student today who said they worked all week and then they lost their work today on the day that it's due. That's a big bummer. Guess what? Guess you're starting over. All right, next. Okay. So now that we have the document set up, we need to actually make sure that the rest of the information over here is correct. So on page 1, let's make sure that we are working in inches, that it's RGB color mode, and that we've got a document that is 300 DPI, because 300 DPI is what is required for high quality printed images. And this is a sign we're assuming is going to get printed, so we need to make it 300 PPI or DPI for printing. We have to do the same thing for page 2. Let's make sure both pages actually are 300, and it does do it for both sides, so that's good. The other thing we need to do is we need to set our margins and our bleed for these signs. So let's put a 1/4 inch bleed on the document. And I want a margin of 0.25 as well. And I want it to click this button to have equal margins on all 4 sides. So those are my margins for sign 1. Now let's go to sign 2. Same thing. There we go. Let's see. Page size up here. That's all set. I think this is where we're going to stop. I'm not going to bother with the additional marks for trim and for bleed. You guys should understand what that is right now after our postcard project. Just know that if you've got color and stuff on the background, you need it to go all the way to the edge. So just making your page a color is not sufficient, okay? You can't just decide, oh, my page is a color and that's it, because that actually doesn't go to the bleed. You would need to make a rectangle that is extended beyond your page into the bleed, and that is the correct way to make sure that that color goes all the way to the bleed, all the way to the edge of your page in Gravit Design. Here I am back in my file in Gravit Designer, and you can see I got a lot of stuff hanging around on my pasteboard. These are all different images that I found online that I'm going to use for inspiration for my design. I'm going to go with like a superhero theme. Just a reminder, here are my sketches again. They look like this. And these two, this one and this one, are the ones that I'm going to go with. The messages will be wash hands, defeat germs. That's the first one. And I want like a superhero symbol here in the middle with hands washing in front of it, almost like you're washing your hands in front of your chest. And the second one will be now entering mask zone. It'll be like 2 stick figures that have capes blowing that are wearing masks. So those are my 2 concepts. I've got kind of superhero vibe going. And so I've pulled in all these images as references for how I'm going to draw my vectors, how I'm going to vectorize things, and what I'm going to use in here. What I don't have is a color scheme. that's set up in here, and I want to set up a color scheme so I have very clear direction for what I'm going to do. So I'm going to actually just make a little palette that I can always look at. I'm going to draw a square right here, holding down Shift, using the rectangular tool. There's my first square, and I'm going to choose a really nice green for that. So let's see, where am I? Oh, so I'm going to start with that green, but I'm going to bring it down a little bit, mellow it out. Then I'm going to click and hold down Option and click and drag to drag out another one of those green squares. And if I click on Command D or Control D, that duplicates my last action. So that's kind of cool. So then I'm going to go to this, and I want yellow, and I'm going to choose the yellow that exists in the Superman logo because it's a good yellow. Then I'm going to choose the red that exists in the Superman logo. Then I'm going to choose a nice blue. I'm going to go here and choose the blue that is here, maybe dial it down slightly. There we go. And then I also want to have a black and white in here. So I just want to have that available to myself. Making a color palette like this is helpful kind of to keep you focused on what you're doing and give you, right at a glance, remind me that this is the color palette I'm working with for both signs. No ifs, ands, or buts. All right, the next thing I want to do is I want to put, I think, a little bit of color down on the background of both of these signs. I'm going to actually just start with one sign and build one sign first, then I'll move on to the second sign. But for the first sign, I think I want to go a lighter blue because I'm thinking about like Superman's shirt, right? So let's see if I can go with a lighter blue. It's not too intrusive. We'll do that. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to draw a rectangle. I can't just change this page, the background color to blue, because then it won't bleed all the way to the edge. So I actually have to make a rectangle that is larger than my canvas, as large as the bleed, 1/4 inch on all sides. And then I'm going to use my swatches up here to just kind of color my stuff. There we go. So there's blue. The other thing I'm going to do is I think I'm going to frame this with the black bar at the top and the bottom. So I'm going to use another rectangle. Just thinking about how I've drawn my sketches. I'm going to put a rectangle up here. That's black. And like a header. And the same thing down here. Okay, so I want to start working on this. I'm going to bring this thing to the front, so I can bring it all the way to the front using this little button up here in the control panel or the control toolbar up here, or I can say arrange, bring to front, and now it should be sitting on top of everything. Yes, it is. All right, so that's the super symbol. It's a photo. I'm actually not going to keep it in there as a photo. I'm going to create my own right now using the pen tool. But I'm going to lock this layer and make a new layer above it, and I'm going to draw my symbol, super symbol, on top of this. And I'm going to use the pen tool, and I'm going to start right here and use straight lines, holding down my Shift, and just draw this thing. So there's my main shape. The next thing I want to do is I want to vectorize this little hand washing symbol right here. And I'm going to go up to Modify, Vectorize the Path, Vectorize Image. This is this group up here. All right, so super symbol, close that. What's this path? Not sure. I can get rid of that other super symbol now. Right here. Okay, here's my group right here. I'm going to open that up and see what's in there. This is everything that's white, and this is everything that's black. I'm going to get rid of the black stuff because I don't need it. And everything that's white, I actually want to turn to black. So I'm going to choose that a different color for it. Let's see. I'm going to fill it with black instead. Oh. All right. Now it's kind of, I think I probably need to rotate it the other direction so it looks like hand washing. There we go. That's better. And I need to make it much bigger, thinking about it in proportion to washing hands. It actually needs to be above my super symbol that I made. It's probably too big there right now. And I'm going to add to these shapes by just going like that to take it off the page. and I need that to be black. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. This one, I'm holding down D to get to it. Move that up a little bit there. Okay, so there are my hands. Let's vectorize this thing, modify. Now, I could just draw this. It's simple shapes. Let's just draw it rather than vectorizing it. Okay, let's see how I can draw simple shapes using this as a reference. I've got a rectangle. I'm going to draw a rectangle right here. And let's see the corners. I'm going to round those a little bit. I'm going to draw another rectangle. What you want to do when you're building with vectors is you want to start thinking about things in terms of basic shapes. Okay? This is like a half circle, but I can draw it with the pen relatively easily. So I'm going to go from here to here. Let's go even there. Go straight down. And then I want to draw out a curve like this. There's a curve. And finish off that box right there. I'm going to go to D. Even. So then this is another rectangle. And this is easy enough to draw with the pen. So I'm just going to click right here. Click and drag. There's my curve. Go back and click on that. Click on that. And click on that. Oops. Click right here on the anchor to make it an even straight line. How do I do that? No. Well, let me close it without the curve. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm just going to click right there, and then I'm going to close that curve like this. There we go. Okay, so there's my faucet. Needs to move up a little nudgy nudge. I think I need to merge all of this stuff together. So using the pointer tool, select all these things. Like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. And I'm going to union all of them together, and now I have one faucet. Okay? Come over here, and I need to bring that to the front and make it bigger. Maybe not quite that big. But I think I want like these ends to go, I'm gonna go to the sub-select. I want these to go off the page, so I'm gonna grab these and just make that a little bit longer so it bleeds to the edge. And this needs to be slightly adjusted. I got an extra point in there, so I got to get rid of that. So I'm going to go up to the pen tool, hover over this, delete this extra point, and I'm going to try and even this curve out right here. Holding down shift, there we go. Straighten that up. I think I need to focus up here too because there's something weird happening up there. Nudge that up slightly. There we go. That moved it into place. There's my faucet. Do I want the faucet to be black? Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. So we'll leave it black. And then this symbol in the back, I'm going to make it bigger and kind of get it faded back there. Take it down in opacity even more. All right. So I'm pretty happy with that so far. I think, do I need water drops? Do I need to show drops of water? I'm going to get rid of this now. So let's make some drops of water. I'm going to start with just a circle. There's a circle. I'm holding down shift to make a circle, and then let me check this out. Path. Convert to a path. There we go. I had to convert it to a path so I could manipulate these individual points. So I'm going to draw this up, and I'm just going to zip these in, the handles, turn them in, and now I have a water droplet. Did you see that? Wow! It's a path now, so I could adjust the size of it a little bit. We're going to just go like that, and like that, and like that. I gotta make them a little bit smaller or else they won't fit. So there, we'll get rid of that one. So there's the hands being washed. And you know what? What's bothering me about this is this logo is interrupting the outline of the hands. So I gotta actually make it a little bit smaller because I don't want it to be where the hands would be. Here we are back in the file, and I've made some adjustments. I actually decided to get rid of the T symbol that I was using back here because I felt like it wasn't really reading. It didn't really work. So what I did was I brought the superhero symbol back in. I resized it. I resized the hands a little bit to give it a little bit more white space around it. And this is still a photo, so I need to actually see how it's an image. I need to actually turn it into a vector. So what I did was I redrew these two shapes, and I actually used the pen tool to trace the S. This is kind of a lazy trace on this, but you know, you guys get the idea. If I was going to take more time, I would probably do it a little cleaner. So here is my shape. I'm going to make this one have a red border. There we go. And I want the fill to be no fill. Putting this back together in here. Make this a little bit smaller. There we go. And then I'm going to grab those two things and I'm going to use, I need to outline that path. So I'm going to modify path, vectorize the border. And now these two things are shapes, and I could use the union tool on them to unify them. And then I'm going to make this one in the background the yellow color. Put this on top of this, and I'm going to align them. And then I'm going to make them a little bit smaller. The one in the back, which is the yellow one, I need that to be a little bit smaller. There we go. There's my super symbol. So these two things, I need to group them. Group. We're going to call that the super symbol. It just reads better when it is an actual S. Now, if I zoomed way in on that, I could see, oh, there's a stroke on it. I don't want that stroke to be on there. Let's get rid of that black stroke. That I could probably smooth out some of these edges. In fact, let's zoom right up in here. Everybody zoom up in here. And I need to go to the sub-select tool, and I'm going to look at this right in here. That needs to be fixed. It was a little bit funky. This right here needs to be smoothed out a little bit. This right here needs to be smoothed out a little bit. There we go. It's all right. We got an extra thing going on right here. Close. Good. If this was my project, I would be going much slower, taking my time, really dialing it in. Oh, this needs to be a little bit bigger right here. I need that S curve to touch the curve over here. There we go. I'm pretty pleased with that. So now I can actually take my grouped object that is a vector, which I created. Even if it's symbol somebody else made, I still created it, so I'm comfortable. That was the first one I did. I even faded it back. I don't like it. No me gusta. It's going away. Bye-bye. So we're going to keep this here, and I want to keep the color that I had started with, but it's in the wrong place, so I'm going to move it behind that. This was the original image. I can delete that now. Yeah, I can see, because that was the other one. I can delete that. Organizing my layers here. Get rid of that photo. Okay, I'm pleased with this composition. Let's lay down some text. So I think the text I said I wanted to put on here was wash hands, fight germs. Let's keep it simple. Let's grab the type tool, and within the margin up here in the black area of the header, I'm just going to type in wash hands. Wait, I can't see anything. That's because my text is black. I have to change it to white. Oh. And I need to change the size of it. Oh, my box is too small because it's like gigantic. See, it's slabo and it's 300 points. So let's change that back to like 100 points. And let's change the color from black to white. Wash hands. I was typing too fast. Wash hands. Select all of that in there. I want to center it in that space, and I want it bigger. I don't want the serif font. I need a nice, big. That's kind of cool. It kind of looks comic booky. But is it too tricky? Will people be distracted by it and not read the message that I want them to read? That could work. That is cool. I don't want to go too comic-y, silly, because I still want my message to be really clear. Titan, that's pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that. So we'll say wash hands, and I need that to be bigger, probably closer to 125. Got to select all this again. 125. That's too big. Let's go. 120. Nah, that's too big. 110. Need to fit inside the margin. Guess what? It does. This is my top margin. I want a little bit of space down here below as well in the black. I want that to be like that. Now, wash hands. Command C, I'm going to copy it. And Command V, I'm going to paste it. Or I'll just, yeah, there we go. There, I pasted it. I'm going to put it down here now. And what this needs to say is fight germs. Wash hands, fight germs. Guess what, guys? That's my first sign. All right, I'm going to save my work. And basically what I'm going to do, oh, you know what I didn't do? I was going to use this halftone pattern. So this halftone pattern is kind of popular. It's very common in comic book and pop art. And I was thinking like I wanted to do something with it in here. So like imagine if I had that on there and if I took down the opacity slightly, like what would that do? But it's kind of in the weird place. It would need to be behind the hands. By the way, these are the hands. Let me get my act together right now, and I'm going to hangs. Why do I keep typing hangs? Hands. Let's organize this stuff a little bit. Compound shape. This is my faucet. This is, what is this? That's my black header. And this one I think is the black footer. Got all these random paths, and I'm not really sure what all of them are. That I think just is not even doing anything, so I'm going to get rid of it. Get rid of the randos. Super symbol, this image is the image of the halftone. I got to figure something out with that. Those are my water droplets. Okay, so I'm going to take these three things right here, make a new group for them. Oops. New group. Group selection. And this will be water drops. black header, black footer, these two things can be together. This is my, let's see what that looks like there. Okay, I like it there, but I want it to be under the hands, and I want the footer to be underneath it there. So I'm just trying to rearrange the order of things a little bit. I think what I want to do is I'm going to bring up...
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
Here's the deal. This image of the halftone is really pissing Gravit off. It does not like it. It doesn't want to turn it into a vector and allow me to manipulate it or cut it or break it down like I normally would. So I actually am going to try and recreate a similar effect in a different way in Gravit that I know how to do. And I'm going to use a texture fill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just keep this here as a reference for you for a second. And I'm going to take a rectangle, and I'm going to draw a rectangle approximately the size of my image area that includes my bleed. And I'm going to go to fills, and I'm going to go up to where it has this drop-down menu, and I'm going to choose texture fill. And I'm going to choose this checkerboard pattern, but I'm going to dial the tiling way down so it's small. Yeah. And from there, I'm going to see about changing the opacity on it. So there it is. And now I can dial down the opacity. Is it working? And it gives it kind of a dot pattern. But let's check out where that is. It's right here. So it is behind the faucet. It needs to be behind the hands. And I think it's okay for it to be on top of the super symbol. Okay, so that's where I'm going to go with that. I'm going to delete this thing now because it's clogging up my machine. It's just like too much. Go away, bye-bye. Let's get rid of this group. Let's just delete it. Bye, see you later. I'm going to make the second sign. But before I start bringing all this stuff in here, over here, I'm going to save. And I got to figure out what I want to do with my people. I have these kind of as inspiration. I really want to make simple stick figures. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Like universal symbol people, okay? And I think I want two. I want like a guy figure and a girl figure, and I want them to be wearing capes. Okay, I like this pose right here that is like hands on hips. And actually, I think, you know what, I could probably use this for both. I just need to change up the orientation of the cape a little bit. I kind of want them going off to the side. So this has maybe a little bit too much detail. I'm gonna get rid of that. This was just inspiration. The boots are kind of cute, but they're stick figures. We're gonna get rid of that. This I need as a reference because I want to keep this in mind for the mask on the face. See, I like this, but I think that rather than these rounded arms, I want these hard angles here. But I think I can extend the lines here to make the cape. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm on page 2, I'm going to lock this. I'm gonna make a new layer above it, and there is where I'm gonna draw my little person. And I'm gonna actually not lock it for a second because I wanna make it a little bit bigger. Bigger, bigger, bigger. I'm holding down shift to keep it proportion. Now I'm gonna lock it. On this layer, I'm gonna draw my people. These are simple shapes. I'm going to take a circle, ellipse tool from the center. I'm going to hold down Option and Shift, and from the center drag out a circle. Okay, and I'll make that a black fill, which is colors right there. And these are like rounded rectangles. So let's do this. A rectangle. There's one. I'm only going to make one to start with. Let's do this in a different color so that we can see what we're doing right now. So there's my rounded rectangle, and I'm going to roll the corners up a little bit on it. Then I'm going to hold down Option, click and drag, and make the second one. And then I'm going to just move that up here, and I'm going to rotate it. That will be my arm. Make it a little bit smaller so it fits in there. I'm going to do this, make a copy of it as well there. I'm going to right click on it and say transform, flip horizontal, flip it, put it right here. And then I need to click Option, drag another one at a different angle for the hands on the hips. Okay. And I'm going to right click on that, click, actually I'll make a new copy of it. Copy it, and then transform, flip horizontal, do that there. And then I'm gonna make a rectangle for the body. And I'll make that rounded on the corners a little bit. So there's the body. I think that probably I need to zoom in a little bit, and I need to make the, I need to pull these two sides in. They're too big. Grab this corner. This needs to be a little bit bigger. These need to come down a little bit. I'm using arrows to do those. Okay, let's make all of this. This is a little bit, needs to rotate here. Elbows are a little bit funky. I gotta line these up a little bit more. Really, we not want those to be at 90-degree angles to each other, right? I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more. Panning down, grabbing this so that it lines up perfectly. And I'm going to pan over to the other side, do the same thing. Okay, that's pretty darn close. If this is my project that I was turning into my teacher, I probably would take a little bit more time, but I'm trying to demonstrate it for you. Okay, let me select all this stuff right here. We'll make it all black. Well, let's make it all yellow so you can see it, right? There it is, all yellow. Now we'll make it all black. And that's the head. Let's just make all of this, see it all? One union shape. There we go. There's my figure. Okay, I've got to fix some stuff up here. I got some extra points right here. This is not in the right place, so we'll drag that down a little bit. So you can still go back in and manipulate these things individually, which is kind of nice. Select, boom, boom. Okay, that's pretty darn close. You know what I need though? I need a cape. So this kind of looks like a cape, but let's see. Let's see, what does a cape look like? Well, I could do a rectangle, or I could just do it with a pen tool. So let's go with the pen tool. Cape, cape. I want my cape to be like this, and I want it to be blowing. Let's see, I want it to be blowing in the wind. Okay, there's my cape. I need to smooth out the corners a little bit. Will it let me? Joint smooth? Yeah, close. There we go, joint. Nope. Nope. I'll just keep that one side over there. Okay, so here's my cape. Maybe should I make my cape red? Look how easy that was. And now I'm going to come back over here. I want these. These I probably would make a little bit smoother. Dialing up the corners on those to make them a little bit smoother. They felt a little bit too pokey to me. Okay, oops, enough right now. Get rid of that stroke, the border on there, line up the cape, but it needs to be behind him. So arrange, send to, back. Let's just bring this guy to the front. Arrange, bring to front. Okay, I'm pretty stoked with that right there. So I'm gonna get rid of this thing right now. Yeah, so I'm gonna unlock that, get rid of that photo. I'm gonna get rid of this photo. I'm gonna keep this mask right here as a reference because I need to do something for his face. I think like this could work, but I like the shape of this a little bit more. It's a little bit more shape to the face. So I'm gonna actually use this one. All right. Once again, it might just be better if I drew it myself. Oh my gosh, that's what I'm learning. That is my discovery this week, is that sometimes it's easier to just draw it yourself. So guess what? I'm going to take a rectangle. I'm going to draw a round rectangle. I'm going to draw a rectangle, and I'm going to smooth out those corners like that. I'm going to change that rectangle. Convert to a raw path. Okay, let's see. Subselect. Now I got pointers. I'm going to add, with the pen tool, a point here. And I'm going to go to the D, so I can move that point up like that. And I'm going to add another point here. I'm going to go to the D and move that point down. Okay, pretty happy with that. So going back to the pointer tool, this needs to be white. This needs to move over here. This shape right here is in this group, and I need to move it up here. And then I need to bring it over here. And I need to reduce it in size. Okay, I need these little loops for the ear holes. Let's see, how do I want to draw those? Just the pen. Stop that line there. I'm going to go back to this pointer tool, and I'm going to make that stroke like 4 points. That work, and we'll make it white. I'm going to the subselect tool. I'm just kind of manipulating this a little bit, you guys, trying to get this to go where I want it to go to approximate the shape. And I like how it kind of goes to the edge there, but I need to outline that path. So I'm going to go to Modify, Convert to Outline. No, Vectorize Border. That's what I want to do. Okay, so I just vectorize the border, and I need to make a copy of that. So I'm going to click Option Drag over here, and then I'm going to, again, transform, flip it horizontal. No, let's go flip horizontal, transform, flip horizontal. There we go. And move it over here. There's my Masked Crusader. Get rid of this guy now. That can go away. Okay, so here's my mask. This is one group and one person. I'm going to do another one next to it. And this one, I think I'm going to change the, I'm going to change up the, like, this shape a little bit, because I want it to have like almost like it's wearing a dress. I don't know, just to make it like it's a boy and girl. But we have female and male and everything in between superheroes. So let's modify path, convert to raw path. There we go. Now I can change this up a little bit. Nope. Zoom in. That side's better. Now she's kind of wearing a skirt. Maybe bring in the waist a little so that we have a distinction between our characters. This guy probably should have his waist brought in a little bit too, because he needs to have a big, broad, muscular chest. So modify, create path, modify, convert, raw path. There we go. I'm in the sub-select zone. I don't like how narrow the waist is. It seems really unrealistic. That's not realistic. Okay, let's see. Let's get this chest a little bit broader. Superhero. Don't know what happened there, but I'm going to convert that as well to a raw path. That will give me more flexibility to manipulate it, convert this one to a raw path, convert to a raw path. All right, that's good. More broad in here and here. There we go. Okay. Okay. The mask got lost in there and I had to go figure out where it was. It was buried on a layer. So I think I've solved it. Now I've got both of these guys standing side by side. They are our heroes, and I want to take all of the stuff that I've created over here and bring it over onto my other canvas. So I'm going to start with the blue background. Let's see. That's the halftone pattern. So that's the halftone texture. And let's go all the way back to, what are these? Oh, those are my swatches. Right. Let's group these. We're going to group them, and we're going to call that group swatches. So make it easier for me to navigate. I'm going to move this like this, get it out of the way. And my blue background, I'm going to unlock, and I'm going to select it. I'm going to make a copy of it, Command C. I'm going to go over to the second page, Command V. And I'm just going to rotate it, boop, and put it right here. And it needs to go all the way to the back. Arrange, send to back. Or I could just drag it down all the way to the bottom of my layers. The next thing I'm going to do is I need to grab these, I'll grab this halftone texture, make a copy of that, Command C, go to page 2, Command V. I'm going to rotate it as well, put it into place. And I want that above the blue background, so that's good, but it's behind my supers. And then I'm going to grab these black borders, Command C, Command V on page 2. Then I'm going to grab wash hands, copy that, come over here to my second page, paste. I grabbed the wrong thing. I need grab wash hands text. Copy, come back over here to page 2, paste. And I need this to be above everything. And instead of saying wash hands, this one needs to say now entering mask zone. Is that what I had said in my, what did I say? Now entering mask zone. Yes. Now entering. And I want to open this box up a little bit because I want that to fit in that area. Probably need this to be up against the border, the margin, I mean. I need my black box to be down a little bit here. Make a copy of that, Command C or Control C, Command V. Drag it down here. Mask zone. Now entering mask zone. I feel like I need the yellow in here somewhere. I think maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to put like a little thing of caution tape. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to make a strip of caution tape, and I'm just going to do that with a line. I'm going to draw it kind of where this faucet is, but just straight across the back like that. We'll make that line border point. Let's go to 20 and see if that's big enough. Let's go bigger than that. Let's go to 30. And let's make it the yellow color that we have over here. So we'll make that stroke this yellow. And I'm going to click off of it, and I'm going to click on modify, create, path. I'm going to vectorize that border. So it's just a shape. That way I can make it a little bit bigger if I wanted to. And I'm going to put it behind them. But first I'm going to put the words caution, 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 or mask zone. That's what I'm going to do, not caution. but mask zone. So let's grab a little bit of text and I'll type it in there. And we're going to say mask zone, mask zone. And I need it to be smaller because I need to repeat quite a bit, and a simple font. So we'll, like a stencil would be cool. That's kind of fun. Mask zone. We're going to change that to 20. 25. I'm going to change that text to black. And we're going to start it over here so it's off the page. And we're just going to repeat it all the way across. So mask zone, mask zone, mask. I'm going to group those two things together, that the yellow, let's see, the path, yeah, the yellow path and that text, we'll group those two things together. Group. I'm going to get organized right now. I'm going to call this is Hero 1. I think this is Hero 2. Dang it. Hero 1, Hero 2. This is my header and footer text. Let's see. I don't know what that path is. I don't know what this layer is. Don't need it. Get rid of it. Black header, black footer. I think these are extra things I don't need, so I'm gonna get rid of them. Anything that's not necessary, get rid of it. Okay, but what I need to do is this is my caution tape, mask zone tape. I need to move it behind my heroes. So I'm just gonna go like that. And it's behind my heroes. This is where I'm gonna land for these. Oh, you know what? I think I want it to be behind the halftone pattern too. Mask zone tape behind the halftone pattern. There we go. Now it really feels like it goes with this other one. That's much better. I'm gonna make these guys slightly taller. Again, because superheroes are tall. Okay, sign 1, sign 2. Sign 1, wash hands, fight germs. Sign 2, now entering mask zone. This sign might be a little bit more complicated than it needs to be, but I got a chance to show you guys how to do a lot of things. How to make this faucet out of shapes, how to recreate the superhero symbol using shapes and the pen tool, how to take an existing icon and a picture of an icon and how to convert it by vectorizing it and then modify it if you need to, selecting the right text that you want, making sure that we have a consistent color palette from sign to sign. There's a lot of stuff that went into this, okay? So hopefully this was helpful to you. Before I do anything else, I'm gonna save my work. All right, everybody, so we are here in the file in Gravit. This is it, this is my design. I'm getting ready to save it and screenshot it and export it and do all that fun stuff. So here we go. First, what I did was I named my pages to make sure that they have a name. So when the file exports, it will have a destination name. My layers are looking pretty good. I've got them organized. This is like my main text on that page, water drops, faucet, black header and footer. I've got my hands, I've got a halftone texture, the super symbol, and then my swatches. I'm good with all this. Let's look at page 2 and just see it's a little bit simpler. I'm fine with the organization of those layers. So that's all good. Let's go ahead and fit to window or fit all again. And let's take a screenshot. Shift Command 3 on my computer. Yours is probably different. There's my screenshot. It's going to my desktop. The next thing I'm going to do is make sure I save this file. So I'm going to click the save again. I've been doing that throughout. Make sure you're saving your work throughout. And it's saving it to the cloud, but I'm also going to download a file to my computer just because I want to be safe and I want to have access to that native file, which I can open up again and further design if I want to. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I need to export as JPEG for my Spark page. So let's go to File, and normally I would go to Export, and I've been exporting the JPEG, but there's a new way to do this. Underneath the layers, there's this thing that oh, can you see it? It says make exportable. So we want to go down below layers to this little panel right here that almost looks hidden. You can't almost not see it. It's kind of sneaky, hiding down there. And we're going to click on this plus button because we want to add an export. So we're going to click that. And under size, we're going to choose 300 dpi. For suffix, we won't choose anything. And then we're going to choose JPEG. And then we're going to click this button right here. That's for export. Let's see if that works. There we go. It just exported my page number 1. Now let's add another export for page number 2. Let's go to this page. We're going to go to add an export. We're going to click on 300 dpi, click on JPEG, and we're going to click on the export. And there it is. Now I'm going to go to my downloads folder. And I've got my 2 signs right here as JPEGs, and they're going to look good because they're 300 dpi, nice and clean. I've got stuff going all the way to my bleeds, so they're nice and cut off nicely at the edges. Yeah, looking good. Okay, I'm going to grab those, and I'm going to grab this GDesign file, and we're going to put it in my desktop, in my folder for campus signage, safety signage. I'm going to put it in my final files, and I'm going to take that screenshot. I'm going to put that in there too. That's going to go for my final files. Okay. That screenshot I'm going to turn in on Canvas. And then these 2 are going to be used on my Spark page right now. So let's go do that. We're going to go to the Spark page. Heading over to the Spark page. Yeah. Click on this. I already started this post. So I'm pretty stoked with the way that I already started it. Got a nice, good opening paragraph. My headline and date superly formatted with the H2 headline style that matches everything else here. I've already started this grid, but now I can get rid of it. Although I do like this. Yeah, I'm gonna copy that so I can take it later. I'm gonna get rid of this. This is placement only. Delete. And now I'm going to, in between my opening paragraph and my discovery, innovation, growth reflection, which this is just a placeholder, by the way. It's not me actually really writing about discovery, innovation, and growth. You need to write about discovery, innovation, and growth. But I'm going to click the plus sign. I'm going to add a photo grid. You can just add photos if you want, but I like the photo grid. I think it looks nice. Click upload photo. I'm going to go over to my desktop, to the campus safety signage project folder that I made. I'm going to go into my final files. And I'm going to select number 1, wash hands, open. It's big. 300 dpi, so it takes a second to load. Then I'm going to go to upload photo, upload my second photo, sign 2, mask zone, open. Here's my second photo. It's also big. It might take a second to load. It's all right. And then I'm going to click save. Those look really good there. I'm going to add that caption back. I'll Command V to paste what I already had typed. Okay, there is my project. If I double click on this, or if I click on this, oh, I actually have to show it to you in preview. So here it is. Remember, I got to go up to share, publish and share. Bzz, update that link. Like every superhero should. Copy that link. Now let's go over to Canvas. I'm going to click on the module and head over to week 5. Go to the project. And I'm going to submit my assignment. So when I submit my assignment down here, I get to choose a file. The file is going to be the screenshot. That is what I have to attach so that Mrs. Giuliano, that's me, can give you annotations and comments on the screenshot. And then in the comments, I'm going to Command V and paste my Spark page. And that is it. I'm going to submit my assignment. Celebrate when the celebrating happens. Woohoo! Celebrate! I'm going to check my submission to make sure it's submitted correctly because that's the kind of student I am. View feedback. This is my screenshot. Yes, and I can see my full entire workspace. It shows me my signs, everything's there, and that way Mrs. Juliano can annotate on it and leave me comments right here. There's my Spark page right there. I'm gonna check my Spark link to make sure I'm sending her to the right place. Sending me. Kind of weird talking about myself in the third person. There's the Spark page. There's my beautiful post. And guess what, you guys? This has been a presentation of Studio 903 demonstrations. I hope that you found it most helpful and inspiring in some way, and maybe it sparked your creativity a little bit. Go get to work.